Hi, this is Boris. Welcome to Movie Messenger. I'm going to talk about the movie Annihilation. The first part of this video is spoiler free, and the second part I will analyze the movie the way I understand it. Please be aware that I'm doing this video after having watched the movie. I listened to interviews by Alex Garland and I have read the novel by Jeff Vandermeer. Annihilation is written and directed by Alex Garland. He started as a writer and is well known for writing the movies Sunshine and 28 Days Later, which were both directed by Danny Boyle. Then he made his directorial debut with Ex Machina, released in 2014. A critically praised film. For me, it is still one of the best sci-fi movies ever. Annihilation is based on the novel trilogy called Southern Reach, written by Jeff Vandermeer. The movie stars Natalie Portman as Lena, the biologist. On a side note, in the novel they don't have names, they are referred to by their job titles. Oscar Isaac as Kane, Lena's husband. Jennifer Jason Leigh as Dr. Ventress, the psychologist. Gina Rodriguez as Anya Thorensen, the paramedic, Tuva Novotny as Cass Shepard, the geomorphologist, and Tessa Thompson as Josie Radek, the physicist. If you're a sci-fi fan like me, who is into movies which respect its audience to be clever enough to figure by themselves, this movie is for you. We just get enough exposition to understand what's going on. I was glad to see there was no text scroll in the beginning to introduce the film, which has become the boring sci-fi movie trope. Going in, of course, there's the expectation for the movie to be as good as Ex Machina, but it's like expecting every new person you meet to be like your best friends, which is impossible. But I have to draw parallels. Alex Garland, writer and director of both Ex Machina and Annihilation, seems to be interested in phenomena which question our existence. In Ex Machina, it's about AI and the difference between the way we humans see it and the way it is in reality. In this movie, he deals with the existence of an alien life form and how it can impact basic biological programming if such thing coexisted with us on Earth. The movie never loses consistency and keeps you engaged like Ex Machina. The more you go forward in the film, the more you get rewarded with information about what you were puzzled before. Now on to the second part. If you have not watched the movie and don't want it to be spoiled, please pause this video and watch the movie and come back. Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. Also, this is an analysis of the film, not of the book. First of all, you don't need to read the book to understand the movie. The book and the movie are very different. I would even say it's not an adaptation, but a movie inspired from the experience Alex Garland had while reading the book. The director has explained in interviews that all the questions posed in the movie are answered in the movie. If they're not answered, find a person who watched to engage in a conversation. This is the kind of movie I love, a movie which encourages people to talk to each other to find out the meaning of what they witnessed. This is probably the reason why you're watching this video. I read the book not with the intention of comparing it with the movie, but to know more about this world and enjoy the source material. Let's start with the title, Annihilation. It's about the natural desire in us to self-destruct. In many ways, biologically as animals, we are born and we die. Emotionally, as creatures, we want to interact and build relationships with each other with the risk of it dissolving. Mentally, as questioning beings seeking the meaning of our existence with the risk of finding nothing. This conversation is key for me in the movie. It's a conversation between the biologist Lena, played by Natalie Portman, and the psychologist played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. This is from the script. In the movie, it changes a little. I'm going to read it myself because I don't want any issues with copyright. So, then I have to ask you, why did my husband volunteer for a suicide mission? So you're asking me as a psychologist? Yes. Then as a psychologist, I think you're confusing suicide with self-destruction, and they're very different. Almost none of us commit suicide, whereas almost all of us self-destruct. Somehow, in some part of our lives, we drink, or take drugs, or destabilize the happy job or happy marriage. But these aren't decisions, they're impulses. In fact, as a biologist, you are better placed to explain them than me. What do you mean? Isn't self-destruction coded into us, imprinted into each cell? Nobody knows why the psychologist volunteered to join the expedition, but she handpicked the teams and she knows the reasons why people joined the team. Again, this is not suggested in the movie, I get this from the book. In the book, she hypnotizes team members to make them do stuff. I'm sure she has hypnotized each person to understand their motives before recruiting them. When she says we drink, she refers to the character of Anya, who is revealed to be a former alcoholic because the character Casey explains to Lena she is sober. Or take drugs, because Josie was a drug addict. destabilize the happy job. This probably has something to do with Casey's backstory. Or happy marriage. And here she is clearly talking about Lena, who cheated on her husband Kane. Kane must have found out about this, which is one of the reasons why he volunteered for the expedition, putting himself in danger. Lena joined the expedition because she felt guilty for cheating on her husband. When it comes to the genre, it is a sci-fi horror/thriller film. Don't worry, there are no jump scares. There is sort of one, but it is so well done that it doesn't follow the usual movie trope. This is my favorite kind of horror because it questions the nature of your existence and the nature itself. It is an alien movie, you get a glimpse of a silhouette, but it subverts from the usual way aliens are portrayed. The alien is not a living entity as we understand, but a force changing the basic programming of everything around us. It plays with our DNA and twists it. We are beings who love patterns. We are pattern-seeking beings. Figuring out patterns which we could formulate into laws, rules make us feel safe because we are programmed to survive. Some have even argued this is why we remember the bad things, meaning information which might threaten our safety more than the good things, which have positive effect on us. We tend to forget that we use the tools of science to figure out the rules to survive in the universe, and our intelligence or arrogance makes us put ourselves at the center as if we decided these rules. And science fiction is perfect to play with that feeling of familiarity being distorted by a completely new set of rules. Just a short reference to the book. In the book, people don't have names. We know only their job titles, as if they are meant to represent the science they are experts in rather than a person. Imagine a range of different schools of thoughts reacting to this alien event. At the end, the only person who survives is the biologist. Is this to show that in essence we are biological beings who happen to have a consciousness, intellect, emotional intelligence, etc.? Maybe. Now let's talk about some key scenes which can provide further understanding of what's going on in the film. The mutilation scene. At a certain point in the story, Lena's crew find what's left of the previous expedition. Among it, they find two things. First, a memory card with a video in it showing Kane, who was a medic, cutting open another member of the expedition to show that his insides are moving. Clearly, they were infected by the alien life form. Secondly, they discover a wall on which the man who was infected has grown into. My guess is that they leaned the man against the wall and they cut him open to see that his organs are moving. At some point, his organs must have grown and merged with the wall and killed him. After witnessing these events and seeing what happened to the member of their expedition, the others slowly lost their minds. The mutant bear. There's a moment I want to mention, especially when we are in the spoiler zone. This is shown in the trailer, but there is a scene where the crew is attacked by a mutant bear. At this point of the movie, it killed Cassie, the geomorphologist. They hear her last screams for help before she died coming from inside the beast. It is one of the creepiest things I've experienced. Again, this is for me feels like how the alien life form understands our nature. Imagine you kill and eat a chicken, and when you burp, you hear the sounds the chicken made when you killed it. The climax of the movie suggests a sequel. Alex clearly mentioned that he's not interested in sequels, even if the novel is a trilogy. At the end, we see the alien mirroring the form of Lena, the character played by Natalie Portman. It does what she does, showing that the alien life form is imitating, mirroring, duplicating our natural elements, including humans. After trying to fight with the alien, she gives it the grenade and runs out of the lighthouse. The grenade explodes, and I believe the alien tries to duplicate the fire and destroys itself and the world it was creating around it. I have to say I was impressed by the music, especially at the end in the lighthouse scene. Since the alien doesn't speak our language, the music jumps at you. I'm not going to lie, it confused and disturbed me for a moment, as it added another layer to find out whether this is the background score or if it's actually the way these beings communicate to humans. After coming back to the facilities of Southern Reach, she goes to see her husband's duplicate who is miraculously recovered, and she hugs him and their eyes shimmer. For me, this can be interpreted as Lena realizing that she has no choice and has to embrace the only thing left of her husband, or maybe the fact that she is infected changed her mind and both of them will spread what the alien life form was trying to spread, driving towards a new evolution for humans on planet Earth. As Lena is the biologist, maybe the alien life form intended to use her memories and knowledge in biology to spread the shimmer. There are so many things I'm missing. For example, the psychedelic aspects. I'm not well versed on this, so I cannot say what they really mean. In conclusion, the message of this movie for me is we are programmed for annihilation. At one point, when they are on bed talking to each other, Lena says that we see aging as a natural process, but it's a fault in our genes. At the beginning of the movie, Lena explains to her students that everything from microbe to humans have the same structure. Everything started with one cell, which divided in 2, then 4, and so on, doubling, duplicating itself. This alien life form seems to duplicate natural things and nature itself, and makes its own version, resulting in corruption of forms, breaking patterns, the rules we are familiar with when it comes to the way we see nature and the way we see ourselves. What the alien life form does in this movie to the world is what artists have been doing for years. As an artist, I identify myself in the aliens because we see the world and we propose our interpretation of it, and sometimes create a new one. I have never seen a story like this, and we need more brilliant sci-fi like this, because it makes people have conversations which otherwise are likely to be avoided if this was set in our reality. You might feel a bit let down, depressed more than scared after watching this movie, which reduces us to simple biological beings. It seems like a nihilistic approach. Ultimately, I believe we can't find a common goal or common meaning to life. You are responsible for your life, and you get to decide the meaning to your life. I find my meaning in life through art, which includes movies and people like you. So if you want to discuss and want more content like this, share and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, with another interesting video about movies, this is Boris, Movie Messenger, signing off.